Good evening and thanks for joining us. We begin with developments in the case of letters laced with poison sent to several U.S. locations, including to the American president. A Quebec woman has been arrested and is in custody in Buffalo, New York. And today police raided a condo near Montreal, assisted by a specialized team trained to deal with chemical and biological threats. RCMP say there is a link between this raid and the suspect arrested in Buffalo. It is working with the FBI on the investigation. It began after a suspicious letter containing the highly toxic substance ricin was intercepted at a government mail facility. It was addressed to President Trump. It's emerged there were other letters too, including some sent to a sheriff and his staff in Texas. There is lots to cover on this story. We have two reports tonight, beginning with Abigail Bimman and the raid that took place in Quebec.
RCMP officers with specialized gear move into an apartment building in the Montreal suburb of Saint-Hubert. Some neighbors watch from balconies. Those closest to the unit where the search warrant is executed were told to leave.
Because of the nature of the substance, either would it be ricin or another highly toxic substance, we decided to take all precaution.
Ricin, a poison derived from castor beans. An amount the size of a pinhead can cause death. There's no antidote. It was found inside letters addressed to the White House, as well as law enforcement and detention facilities in South Texas.
A female suspect was arrested last night as she was attempting to cross from Canada into the United States.
Sources say she had a gun. RCMP are assisting the FBI and say that suspect is linked to this Quebec apartment, but aren't saying much more. Beyond targeting the President of the United States, the motive isn't clear.
The biggest thing for me in terms of next steps for this case will be in terms of what the RCMP tell us about whether or not there are ongoing investigations in Canada. So basically what this means is whether or not there are other individuals they suspect to be involved.
As of now, the only suspect named in this case is in custody, awaiting a court appearance in Buffalo, New York, Tuesday. It's not clear what charges she faces. Abigail Bimman, Global News, Ottawa.
Our Ottawa Bureau Chief Mercedes Stevenson has been working her sources. Mercedes, the RCMP are leading the investigation here in Canada. What have you learned?
Well, Donna, we now have the name of the suspect who is accused of having sent these ricin-laced letters to the United States, including the White House. Her name is Pascale Ferrier. She was, as you just heard, picked up trying to enter the United States, sources say, with a gun. Pascale Ferrier, again, the woman who sent these letters according to law enforcement and intelligence sources. Now, in terms of what we know about the investigation at this point, we do know it is ongoing and it's being taken very seriously by Canadian authorities. We saw part of that manifest today with who was actually on the ground to carry out the search in that apartment building. Normally, this would just be the police. But today, the military showed up. And not just anyone in the military, Donna, a highly specialized and very secretive unit from the Canadian Special Operations Command. They're known as CJIRU, the Canadian Joint Incident Response Group. And not only are they highly trained and deadly operators, they're also experts in nuclear, biological, and chemical devices. The fact that they were there today is the first time we've seen them operate publicly in Canada, and it goes to tell you just how concerned authorities were about what they might find inside that apartment.
And Mercedes, we know there was more than one letter. Do we know if investigators are looking for multiple people?
Donna, there are certainly people who investigators would like to speak to. In particular, one source with direct knowledge of the investigation tells me there is a male that police are interested in speaking to. It's not entirely clear what the relationship is there or why. But one of the standard things that investigations look at this point is, did somebody have help? Did they act alone? How did she learn how to refine ricin and make it successfully without killing herself or somebody else? And where did the money and motive come from? Some of this might be revealed in the court documents tomorrow, so we're certainly anxiously awaiting that. But in the meantime, I can tell you that a source says there have been cell phone intercepts and there have been conversation intercepts that have led the police to be interested in about 13 people who may be connected in some way. They're looking into that. And Donna, I'm also told that the amount of ricin in that envelope was not small, it was substantial. And that's what's led to some of this concern.
All right, Mercedes Stevenson, thanks.